DramaCityProductions.com.
You are plugged in for the Podcast Wrestling Society, where you can get dynamic weekly pro wrestling and MMA-related content. Give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PODWRES Society so that you can stay in the know.
Faith is the place, and the sky's the limit.
And if you like what you hear, give us a 5-star review and hit that subscribe button.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Now, your host, he is the
One and only
Troy Adams.
Welcome to the Dungeon of Doom here on the Podcast Wrestling Society. I'm your loving leader, benevolent host, Midwest Monster, and your master, Troy Adams. And my warrior for today, he is the Kevin Sullivan to my King Ayakea, Greg, my son. What up, Greg?
What up?
Of course, that is all in reference to the, hot Dungeon of Doom angle that ran during,
Dude, that was on
1995.
fire, man, back in the day.
Hell yeah, it was. It was the hottest thing WCW ever had. All right?
That's why they were beating WWE, you know?
Oh, hell yeah. Not to spoil anything for later on in the show, but you and I were texting about Halloween Havoc 1995, which we are covering today. And
Sorry.
yeah, sorry in advance. Hopefully you all laugh as much as I did through my tears. But we were talking about how that could be used as, like, Chinese water torture. It was bad.
Waterboarding much?
Oh, yeah. Just the entire month of October. And the sad thing is, Eric Bischoff talked about, he called them tentpole events in WCW. And oddly enough, he said he never looked at Starrcade as a tentpole event. It was just another pay-per-view to him, which just blows my mind. But he said,
opinion?
Yeah, it's really stupid. It's like, dude, you do realize that was supposed to be the event, right? And everybody else in the world looked at it as the event for NWA/WCW. But he didn't. And he ran the show for a long time. Whatever. But he said he did look at Halloween Havoc as a tentpole event. It's like, really? I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of things happened on this show. None of them were good. So, gosh, it was bad. Full disclosure, I've never seen the show start to finish until now. And by God, I wish I still hadn't seen it from start to finish. This show sucked.
How dare you?
It was bad. But, yeah, while we're, before we jump into all this here, because we have a couple news stories to get through. I just want to blow through them real quick. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that because we have 3 shows to cover. 2 of them are In Your House events where nothing hugely spectacular happened, but, we are covering every pay-per-view from the year, so I guess we have to cover them, Greg. And yay us. But, and then, of course, we're covering the amazing Halloween Havoc 1995. That will be the finale of the show. So hold on to your butts.
Best for last.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that. Well, let's take a quick break here just to pimp some of the stuff that we do at the beginning of every single podcast. First, of course, I'm going to tell you about our merchandise. You can go to shop.spreadshirt.com/podcast-wrestling-society, or you could always go to redbubble.com/people/pod-res-society. There we've got stickers, buttons, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, ball caps, or if you want some bags or mouse pads or phone cases, whatever. There's tons of great artwork on there for the show, either various logos of ours that are original or they're dedication logos for the show that kind of look like some stuff you might recognize. You can go check out. or there's some funny stuff from the shows, just different sayings that we've had throughout the time we've been on the podcast that I think you'd really like to wear around and be a nice conversation piece. So definitely go check out the merchandise there. While we're talking, I also want to direct all of you to wrestlingwithwrestling.com. Fantastic site. They got all the latest news and stuff that we can't cover every single week here because we only have one show a week. So there's tons of stuff happening between podcasts. Go check that out. They cover a ton of stuff across the wrestling world, whether it's here in the United States, whether it's abroad. They also have reviews of shows that you might not be able to see anywhere because of either they don't have shows here in America or wherever you live. And they've got great reviews. They've got other podcasts. They've got videos, interviews, what have you. Lots of great stuff. That's wrestlingwithwrestling.com, covering all four corners of the ring. All right, and now I guess it is time to get on with the show. Before we get into the news, I got to crack open a Monster that keeps me going through the show. No, his is beer. Mine is Monster. It keeps me awake through the podcast, and...
Whatever, it's still Roll Tide.
No, it is not. Nothing is Roll Tide. You know who... Clemson rolls over Tide, but that's a different story. Sorry.
Roll Tigers.
What the hell? Yeah, so just wanted to let everybody know, Monster does not endorse us. They are not a sponsor, but I do want to put that out there. That
well, then screw them.
No, not screw them, Greg. Dang it. But they do help me get through every single podcast, and it's actually my favorite beverage on this planet. So putting that out there, if they would like to sponsor the show, then more power to them. I would absolutely love that. Cause,
do they want to sell more in Switzerland? Yeah,
I mean, maybe. I fully endorse their product, even though they have not yet endorsed the show. But you ready to dive into some news here real quick, Greg?
I guess.
All right, let's do it. There's actually some big stuff to get to. Some big stuff. Most of it's real quick. The first thing, what did we just talk about last week about journalistic integrity, Greg?
That Ryan Satin doesn't have any?
Yeah, well, after I just got through somewhat complimenting Uncle Dave for not printing all that crap that Ryan Satin did, he knew it, didn't he? He knew that I complimented him, so he was like, I'll show him. And he prints this crap that Ronda Rousey, after WrestleMania 35, is, quote, done with WWE. And then Rousey came out right afterwards. It was like, I am not done with WWE. I have a solid contract with them for multiple years. I cannot legally be done with them after WrestleMania.
So you're telling me that Dave Meltzer reported something that was false?
No, Greg. Ronda's plans changed, okay? That has to be the explanation.
I just want to slap you for saying that.
Well, come on. That has to be it, right? He's never wrong. He never prints inaccuracies. However, I guess from all the things I have read, she is not done after WrestleMania. However, she, as far as I can see, is saying that she is going to try to start a family, and she's going to take some time off after WrestleMania 35, which pretty much leads you to believe that she's dropping the belt. If not at the Rumble, then definitely at WrestleMania. So
yeah, we've thought this before with Brock Lesnar, so I'm not buying it.
Yeah, that is true. However, if she's been talking about wanting to start a family for a long time, so whatever.
Yeah, well, it takes money, so
which she has a ton of, and you know her husband does too. Does he?
Oh my! You just said Travis Brown has a ton of money. That implies he was a good fighter. Again, I want to slap you for that.
Yeah, okay.
He sucks. He does not have any money.
That doesn't mean anything. Have you seen the checks that these losers get for getting their asses kicked?
Yeah, but he hasn't lost in 2 years, or 3 years.
Hey, maybe
when was the last time Cain Velasquez beat the hell out of him? Whenever that was.
Well, hey, maybe he was frugal with his money. You don't know. Maybe he wasn't, out there blowing it. I don't know. Either way, Rhonda's clearly the breadwinner of the family, but still. But yeah, she said, and allegedly after she has kids or whatever, she wants to only come back on a part-time basis. So she comes in for a full year, is pushed to the moon, wins the title, is headlining all these shows, and then she wants to Brock Lesnar it after that. Cool.
Yeah, because Brock can.
Waste of time. Why? I don't know. It just seems like such a waste of time to me. It's like, look, I get the whole wanting to start a family thing, but good Lord, like you just pointed out, what the hell is her husband doing? Can't they just travel with her? I don't get it. Why not have both? There you go. Buy a bus. Hell, pull a CM Punk and buy a damn bus. Why not? Whatever. Here's another one. This is being made a bigger story than it really should be, but it's something that you'll enjoy. And I'm not talking about this isn't a positive story, but I'll get to the negatives here in a minute.
What are you trying to say about me?
You'll see here in a minute. You'll enjoy this story. Roman Reigns is apparently going to be playing The Rock's brother in a Fast and Furious spinoff.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I said that there's some negativity around this story is because, marks are going to mark, Greg. And they're like, oh, well, he's not bedridden, therefore it's a scam. He doesn't really have leukemia. Because people don't know how leukemia works. Or chemotherapy. Like,
man.
They're looking for every single time somebody sees Roman in public. Wait a minute, he's not bald, he's lying. Or wait a minute, he doesn't look anorexic, he's lying. Like, you guys don't know how anything works. Like, good Lord.
Well, the internet didn't say.
Somebody pointed out, I can't remember who it was on the Pittsburgh Steelers that had, I don't think it was leukemia, but it was a form of cancer. And they caught it early enough, and he was going through chemo and all of that. He was still training and working out and all this other stuff between treatments. So he was in pretty good shape, and he was still, like, out in public. Like, they act like because he's not bedridden and 100 pounds soaking wet and bald, oh, he's lying about his cancer. Like, you guys are so stupid.
One of my favorite ones is still he was suspended for a drug test, and that's what this whole thing is.
People are seriously saying that this whole cancer thing is because he was...
I saw a couple people say it, yeah.
People just let their blind hatred of Roman Reigns for whatever the hell reason just make them so stupid. It's just like, it blows my mind, the stupidity of these people. What the hell ever.
Well, it kind of doesn't me, because I've come to expect it.
I can't believe that people are this just pig-headed and stupid about it. Like,
oh, come on,
good
dude.
Lord. I try to have a more positive outlook on the world, and this stuff right here just, like, tells me I'm an idiot. We're trying so hard to be positive. Whatever. I guess I should think the worst of everybody right off the bat. Just realize everybody out there is
anyone that follows Dave Meltzer, yes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. This next story, neither one of us are going to give a damn about, but yeah, it's worth mentioning. WWE has announced they're developing a reality show, another one, with Bunham Murray that will, quote, document the search for the next great female competitor.
Oh, God. So, Diva Search.
Yeah. Bunham Murray are also partners with WWE on Total Divas and Total Bellas. Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Search for the next female superstar is the working title for the show. Casting applications are now open. Can it be actual female wrestlers that they look into and not...
No, get Eva Marie back.
Yeah, let's not do that. She's busy on Big Brother. All right. So, with that Scaramucci guy that was in the Trump campaign or Trump administration for like a day. So that's just and OJ's former roommate. So
yes, that's right. I saw that. Now I remember.
Yeah.
Kato Kalin, that's right.
Yeah. That's just like and Joey what's his name? The guy from Blossom. Joey whatever his name.
Whoa!
Yeah, him. What's his last name? Why am I blanking?
Lawrence.
Joey Lawrence. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
I'm actually disappointed in him. I thought he was better than that, but I stand corrected. He is not better than that. Either way, can we, like, not get just, like, I used to be a swimsuit model, and now I decided I'm going to be a wrestler? Like, God. I hope we're over all of that, and they're actually going to pull in real wrestlers or people who give a damn about wrestling. And we're not having, like, on Tough Enough.
Hey, boss, we got a blonde with big boobs. She can wrestle.
I don't know if she can wrestle, but, man, she's got a big rack. And I'm not trying to be sexist about it. I'm being serious because many people have said John Laurinaitis literally went through swimsuit model catalogs to pick out who was going to be the next wrestler, which is where they found Kelly Kelly. Shocker, I know. Which, by the way...
And they named her Kelly Kelly.
Yeah. Why did they name her Kelly Kelly when her name was literally Barbie? Like, isn't that perfect?
She was so nice they named her twice.
Yeah, but it's... First of all... That's dumb. Second of all, it's right there in your face. Her name is Barbie. Boom. Like, I figured that would be like a no-brainer.
What's her last name?
Blank.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, well, they didn't have to go with that. They could have just called her Barbie or something. I don't know. Maybe it was a trademark issue. I have no idea. You ready for some injury news, Greg? I got 3 of them. And it's all legs.
All right, let's talk about the legs.
Working the leg, bro. First one.
Shut up.
First one. Chris Sabin suffers a torn ACL and is expected to be out for 8 to 12 months.
And for those keeping track, that is number 3.
Yep. I still remember how much that broke my heart when I waited for you and I both waited for a whole year for him to return. Comes back, first night back, I believe, tore his other knee. Now he's out again.
And then he comes back, wins the world title for a cup of coffee, and then never matters again.
Harsh, but not an unfair criticism. This next one. Flip Gordon has suffered an MCL tear, but...
This one hurts me the most.
But, good news, he is expected to be back in time for the MSG show. I don't know how. How do you recover that quickly from an MCL tear?
Oh, he's just that good.
I guess he's going to pull a John Cena. John Cena! We won't be able to see that MCL tear. Speaking of John Cena, did you see there's a new Funko coming out of him that's, like, clear?
Is that legit? I thought it was a joke.
No, I saw advertisements for it. Like, you can't see it.
That's clever.
That's awesome. I don't know why it took so long to come out with, but that's awesome. Last injury story here. It's all little guys. Matt Seidel is going to undergo surgery to repair torn cartilage in his knee. I don't have an estimate about how long he'll be out.
Well, medical cannabis will help him get through it, right?
Medical what?
I mean, not that he does that.
Well, no, he's going to use the third eye, Greg, to and he's going to meditate and all that. So,
shut up.
What? That's his gimmick.
No, it's not. That's really him.
Is it really? Like, does he do all that hippie crap?
Yeah.
God.
Yep. It's just what we said in an interview, but
I guess he
I don't
really
know. That
is.
could have been in character too, but I
guess he really is airborne. This next one, Minoru Suzuki has been added to Josh Barnett's Bloodsport.
I think you forgot to say one of the AOPs hurt from the leg too, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, that's why we haven't seen him.
Oh, I haven't even heard about that story, but that would make sense. Good Lord. They come in, don't do anything, tear ass up for a little while, then they're gone again.
Gone forever.
Gone forever, bro. And now Drake Maverick's stuck back on 205 Live. Poor guy. This next one isn't exactly a wrestling story, but it's associated with wrestling. So, the XFL is working on deals with Fox and ABC. Hooray! So,
you don't want to see that?
Yeah, to all 5 of you out there that give a damn about the XFL, there you go. You could see them on Fox or ABC.
How low can you go?
Apparently, Fox or ABC. UFC averaged nearly 2 million viewers for the first ESPN prelims. Not bad, but who the hell wanted to see that? Do you know anybody who actually gave a damn about those prelims? Because even you were saying you didn't know anybody on there except for Donald Cerrone.
Nope.
But they said
that fight was good, though.
Well, they said they averaged 2 million viewers for the prelims on ESPN. That just... Okie doke.
Well, maybe they advertise better.
Maybe. Last story here. John Jones's UFC 232 VADA tests show trace amounts of Turnbull.
Yeah, but apparently it's from like the same thing that was last time, so it's not going to affect him. Something like that.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And I thought the whole reason they moved was because of the trace amounts, and they were going to let it slide. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal, but
what difference does it make? He's just going to get off, whatever.
Well, yeah, because he's a moneymaker for Dana White, and apparently he has pictures of Dana with a donkey somewhere. So that's the only explanation I've got, man. Because what the hell? He slides on everything. He's been given chance after chance after chance that nobody else has been given. So whatever. He's got to have pictures. He can't possibly.
Is it weird? I want to see.
Wow. He can't possibly make Dana that much money. Am I wrong?
I mean, I haven't seen the buy rates yet, but
I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, that's all the news I got. You got anything else?
Yeah, let's get on to the fun part.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, I'll ring the bell to close us out here. All right, end of news. Well, we're going to take... you want to take a quick break before we hop into the In Your Houses?
Yeah, I got a whiz.
The hell? All right, well, we'll take a...
not that kind of break.
Yeah. We'll take a quick promo break. Everybody let you know about some other great podcasts here on the Drama City Productions Podcast Network. Definitely go to DramaCityProductions.com. Check them out. We are on there. And some other great shows as well.
Oh, I hope.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll be right back.
DramaCityProductions.com.
Hey folks, Brandon Fisher here, the host of Sack 'em Up Sundays, the newest comedy podcast to be put on the Drama City Productions Network. Tune in each week as we get really stupid talking about things we know absolutely nothing about. From politics to true crime, movies, to hypothetical questions that go absolutely nowhere. Each episode is filled with at least an hour of hilarious and super offensive content. So join myself and my co-host Dipsy D each week as we get real, talking about absolutely nothing. You can find us at iTunes, Podbean, CastBox, and pretty much anywhere podcasts are available. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at EM_SAC to keep yourself updated on shows or to drop us ideas for things to talk about. We're always looking for things to discuss.
And we are back, and Greg, you know what that means. It's time to go in your house.
It's time to cut ourselves.
Mentally. It is time for us to go in your house, baby. As much
I feel
as
like
that
cutting
may scare
myself
you.
physically might be less painful than this, but whatever.
Yeah, you might be right. This first one, I don't even know what to say. This card was just, the whole show was just weird. Well, both of these were. I don't know.
There's a good reason for one of them, but
yeah. Well, this one, WWF In Your House 3, the tagline, 3 belts, 1 match. You remember when there was just 3 championships, Greg? Just 3? Like,
well, let's start at the beginning. I remember when they were called belts.
Yeah, right. I know. First of all, it's so crazy that Vince McMahon allowed them to put the word belts in there. Second of all, yeah, just, like simpler times. There was the world title, the Intercontinental title, the tag titles. That was it. There wasn't.
Well, they had the women's title, but it was over on Nitro in the trash.
Holy crap. Not yet, but yeah, you're not far off. Good Lord. This took place September 24th, 1995 from the Saginaw Civic Center in Saginaw, Michigan. Yay.
Yes, Saginaw.
Said no one ever. The attendance was 5,146. Yay. So.
Wow, that's
a whole 5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen more on APW show.
You're probably not wrong. In the opening package.
I love APW, by the way, if anyone hears that.
Well, yeah, we all know.
Going to it next Friday.
Yeah. In the opening package, Todd Pettengill says that Yokozuna and Owen Hart are, quote, perhaps the greatest WWF tag team champions ever.
Oh, my God.
Good
Dude, they lived in the
Lord.
moment with that saying
I
so much back in the day.
I know.
Diesel was the greatest WWE champion ever. They said it about Bret Hart. Then they said it about Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Like, really? Like, they're... Like, I want them to tell me, it's like, what made them the greatest? Like, was it the length of their title reign? No.
No.
Was it the amount of people they'd beaten? No. So, like, what qualifier was there? Like, they just threw that term around like nothing. Whatever. They're the greatest because they're the current reigning champions, and we said so. Okay.
Done.
There's actually a 3-man booth for this with Vince McMahon, Jerry Lawler, and Jim Ross. JR is no longer interviewing people as they leave the ring, so that's a step up, I guess. And he's not wearing a toga, so there's another step up. As Savio Vega is talking to the Spanish announce team, the camera keeps zooming in closer and closer and closer until it's focused on his neck and is completely out of focus. I don't know what the hell they were doing. But Savio's got some weird hand symbol now shaved into the back of his head. It's not the SV anymore. I couldn't figure out what the hell this was. They tried to do a split screen, by the way, during Waylon Mercy's entrance. Spoiler.
Oh, Waylon Mercy.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Spoiler, Savio Vega is taking on Waylon Mercy. But they tried to do a split screen during Waylon Mercy's entrance, showing like one of his like promos. And it takes him a good, 5 seconds into Mercy's promo to actually switch the screen to split screen. And, this was a common problem during the show, by the way. I don't know who the hell their director was, but he was bad. So, yeah, Waylon Mercy versus Savio Vega. They cut away from
the original Bray Wyatts.
Yeah. They cut away from the match for Doc Hendricks to say that Owen Hart is not there. We'll get into that. Savio wins with a spinning wheel kick. Note, I said slow and sloppy, 1.5 Uncle Dave's. Nothing noteworthy on this match at all. But now we go to the back, where Doc Hendricks runs into the heel locker room, where Jim Cornette is arguing with Gorilla Monsoon. Cornette claims that Owen Hart is, quote, here in Michigan. Hendricks asks if the main event is in jeopardy, and Monsoon says no. So he says the main event will go on with or without Owen Hart. So it might be a handicap match. Again, we'll get into that. They show video of Henry O. Godwin. Yes, he is on the show. Slopping Psycho Sid on Superstars. And then Sid goes backstage and goes absolutely nuts. Godwin also slopped Ted DiBiase twice within the past month. Poor Ted. You get more good suits ruined that way.
He's WCW bouncing.
Yep. And he's about to be the $1 trillion man. Because, that's original. But we got Psycho Sid versus Henry O. Godwin. Get it? Henry O. Godwin? His initials are Hog. Because he's a hog farmer.
It's sad to look at the decline, by the way. He headlined the first two In Your Houses a few months prior. Now he's in the second match with Henry freaking Godwin.
Yep. And there was nothing special about this match. This is the first referee I've seen in WWF wearing a long-sleeved referee shirt. Figured I'd point that out, because I was like, what the hell? It was weird. Lawler trashes on Ross for being from Oklahoma throughout the entire match. This match is pretty slow and boring.
That's telling.
Yeah. I said this match is very slow and boring. Who booked this crap? Godwin hits Sid with the slop drop, but DiBiase pulls him off the cover. DiBiase gets involved again, and it leads to Sid powerbombing Godwin to get the pin. 1.5 Uncle Dave's. Blah. Sid rolls Godwin out of the ring, and Sid argues with Ted over who will slop Henry, because they grabbed his slop bucket. Bam Bam Bigelow then runs down to attack them, and Kama attacks Bigelow. They then go to slop Bigelow, but Henry grabs a bucket from him, and he puts the whole thing over DiBiase's head. Ted goes nuts. They later show him, by the way, like, I don't know, 30 minutes later on the 900 line in the back talking to people, still covered in crap. Like, they didn't even let him shower before they put him on the phone. That was pathetic.
Gotta live the moment, pal.
Oh, yeah. Either way. To the back, where Doc Hendricks asks Gorilla Monsoon if the main event match will go on. Gorilla says that he's giving Cornette the choice. Either Yokozuna defends the tag team titles alone, or Cornette chooses a replacement partner for Yoko for one night only. A video.
Yeah, it was a real mystery who was going to choose.
Yeah, right. Well, they kind of ruin it right after this because they go right into this segment. A video is shown of British Bulldog turning heel by attacking Diesel from behind, having him laid out by Mabel. This next match, by the way, British Bulldog versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Bulldog got a haircut. You turned heel, pal. Gotta cut the hair. So, there you go. Bam Bam is back to doing his cartwheel instead of that stupid skip jump that I was complaining about. They break away to show Jim Cornette asking Sid to team with Yokozuna. Bam Bam goes for his moonsault and completely misses. Bulldog gets a 2 count off of it and then goes up top with a flying headbutt. I've never seen Davey Boy actually do a flying headbutt. They fight a little while longer. Bulldog throws Bam Bam chest first into the corner. Bam Bam comes out, and Bulldog nails a power slam for the win. I said, not a terrible match. I just couldn't bring myself to care. 2 Uncle Daves. Speaking of not bringing myself to care, they show a video preview for WrestleMania 11, The Special. Who would want to relive all of that? Apparently you and I do, Greg.
Well, there was only 2 matches they showed.
Which 2? I hope the last 2.
The 2 main events, yeah.
All right, well, still. What was the one? What were the 2 main events? I know Diesel and Shawn. What was the other one I'm blanking on?
Bigelow and Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, duh. Yeah. I guess if you're going to show
How do you
2.
forget that?
Because it wasn't good. I don't know. That I try to put most of that card out of my mind. Bob Backlund walks to the ring carrying a Webster's dictionary for some reason, and
Of course he is.
and he's shouting at fans. He grabs the microphone.
Tell me all the presidents in order.
Oh my God! He grabs the microphone and uses big words to insult the fans, calling them plebeians and whatever.
The plebeians, yes.
Yeah. And he insults their reading and writing skills. Man, what a burn. Backlund then introduces Dean Douglas. Woo! They show videos of Razor. They show videos of Razor and Douglas getting into it all month long. Yay. So I guess Bob Backlund is with Dean Douglas for this night. I don't think he was ever with him again. But yeah, so Dean Douglas takes on Razor. Razor starts off hot on Douglas. Tim White is refereeing this match.
That's not wise.
It is not wise. They cut away at one point to show Jim Cornette asking King Mabel to team up with Yokozuna.
Man, that would have been
right.
something.
Now, you want to talk about the greatest tag team of all time. Boom. Either way, Mabel and
Mabel.
Mabel and Yoko just stare each other down. Douglas shoves Razor.
I could eat more hot dogs than you, boy.
Wow. That's I'm not touching that one. Douglas shoves Razor into referee Tim White at one point. That wasn't wise. As the ref is getting up, Razor nails the Razor's edge, and the 1-2-3 Kid rushes in to count the
Hell
three.
yeah.
He rushes in to count the 3 count behind Razor's back. Razor gets mad at the Kid because he thought there was the referee, so he got off the pin, and he shoves Kid out of the ring. Douglas then gets Razor into a sloppy O'Connor roll while holding the tights for the win. Notes, I said, pretty good match. Surprised to see Douglas go over. 2.5 Uncle Dave's. This was an odd storyline with the 1-2-3 Kid, in my opinion. It's still going on later on. We'll get to it. But Razor rolls Kid back into the ring, and he slaps him. Kid tries to kick Razor, and then all the geeks hit the ring and try to separate him. They then show a commercial for In Your House 4, live from Winnipeg, you idiot! Next month, it will be The Undertaker versus King Mabel, and the debut of Goldust. So hold on to your butts for that one.
I'm just gonna put the asses in the seats.
I was gonna put the asses in. You know what? Never mind. I'm not going there. Now we go to the back, where Doc Hendricks is advertising that if you call now, you get the Shawn Michaels hat and sunglasses combo, along with a videotape. Yay. Diesel and Shawn Michaels then get interviewed and compare wanting to wrestle Owen and Yokozuna, but Owen not being there, to wanting to hook up with a hot chick, but she's kind of nutty and it never works out. I have no idea what the hell Shawn is talking about in this promo. Diesel says, "I smell a rat," and Shawn says, "I thought that was just Doc over here." What the?
It's his hair.
Yeah. These two,
Well, that moose.
the crap these two said in promos, I never knew what the hell they were on about. Ever. They just said random crap. This next barn burner, man. I don't know why it wasn't on the next card when they're in Canada, but, it is what it is. Before the next match, they show Jean-Pierre Lafitte has been stealing Bret Hart's sunglasses from children in the crowd, and he recently stole Bret Hart's leather jacket. So the whole thing is he's a pirate and a thief. And Bret Hart doesn't like that. So I guess we have to have a match? Whatever. The crowd blows a roof off the building for Bret Hart, as usual. When he gets in the ring, Lafitte takes a powder. Bret does a suicide dive onto him, but he completely overshoots him and does a front flip onto the floor. He's right back up, however, beating the tar out of the pirate all over ringside. Jean-Pierre controls most of this match. McMahon says, "I'm sure Jean-Pierre Lafitte is asking himself the same question that everyone who's ever been in the ring with Bret Hart, you included, Jerry Lawler, eventually asks themselves." And Lawler says, "How do I stand the smell?"
No.
I thought it was funny. But
No.
anyway, Jean-Pierre misses the cannonball. Then he misses another to the outside later on. Bret takes control, not for long, but he eventually locks in the sharpshooter and rolls it in while they're both laying on the mat, and the pirate taps out. Notes, I said the pirate was sloppy as hell through most of the match. I hear he's improved later on in life. Decent match. 2 1/4 Uncle Dave's. That is all I can give it. This was just something
Generous.
else. Yeah. Jean-Pierre Lafitte. What a freaking gimmick, man. They should have brought him back to team with Burchell later on in life.
I said the same thing.
Right? What is it with freaking Vince McMahon and pirates, man? Just why?
Arrgh.
Why is that a realistic thing that he thinks like, oh, we should have more pirates wrestling, pal? You remember that segment where it's like all the minis running around the back? You got the network representative doing stupid crap, and then all of a sudden Paul Burchill like slices through the back with his sword, and he's like, "Hello," and then he walks through. Well, I guess Bruce Pritchard was saying Vince McMahon after that looked at him and was like, "Was the pirate too much gaga?" And he was like, "Yes, Vince, it was the pirate that was too much." Anyway, to the back, where Doc Hendricks chose the British Bulldog will be Yokozuna's tag team partner. Bulldog changed his tights. He was earlier wearing red, white, and blue. He's now wearing red and gold. Gorilla Monsoon says that Bulldog has the opportunity to either become the world champion or the Intercontinental champion or lose the tag team titles for Yoko and Owen. So he could either be a champion or the GOAT. And no, I don't mean greatest of all time. We then see...
no, that's Owen Hart and Yokozuna.
Oh, yeah, of course. Vince McMahon, Jim Ross, and Jerry Lawler have crappy audio as they go over the PA system to pimp some merch. Alundra Blaze comes out to model the event t-shirt for everybody and shows off that people who order the t-shirt can also get a free WWF videotape if they order now. Woo!
What's a videotape?
Yeah, no, throw it in your Google machine for all of you out there too young to remember that. Gosh, I'm feeling old. Anyway, you probably remember Betamax, don't you there, Greg?
Vaguely.
All right, well, the main event, Yokozuna and the British Bulldog with Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette defend the tag team titles against Shawn Michaels and Diesel, who are defending the World and Intercontinental titles. This was kind of confusing. Anyway, all the titles are on the line. Diesel's singlet says dudes with attitude on it. Shawn's ass also says that. They have...
Let's take a second to realize that TJ's looking at his ass. Okay, cool.
Why wouldn't I? He's Shawn Michaels.
All right.
They have a graphic on the side like they're going to do a split screen for like 2 minutes before they actually do it. They've been having these issues all night. They then show a replay, and it's super pixelated. Diesel motions for the jackknife on Bulldog, and HBK takes out Cornette on the apron. Yoko then hits a Samoan drop on Diesel before Shawn super kicks him out of the ring. Bulldog hits Diesel with a power slam, and HBK elbow drops him off the top. And then Owen Hart suddenly shows up. That one actually, I didn't know he was going to be there. But Owen shows up, and he dives off the top rope, gets punched in the gut, and takes a jackknife. Diesel pins him, and they're the tag team champions. Notes, I said, how was Owen legally allowed to compete in this match? Good match, but the ending was confusing. 3 1/4 Uncle Dave's. That gets overturned.
Yeah.
Does that get overturned, or like what the hell happens?
Yeah, because Owen wasn't legally in the match.
Yeah.
So he couldn't lose the match. Yeah.
I was like, why is this ref so stupid? He's like, wait a minute. You weren't in this match. I'll let it fly. Like, what? What? This isn't Lucha House Party rules. What gives? Man, they were already doing this crap before Lucha House Party. Think about that. Or don't. Your head might hurt.
Preview.
Gosh. Yeah, let's not. But anyway, that was In Your House 3, everybody. Hooray. We still have one more to go. You ready for In Your House 4, Greg?
No.
Yeah, nobody's ready for this. It was not a good show. I know. Shocker. But, hold on to your pants. Well, Greg, it is In Your House 4, October 22nd, 1995. It is from...
How about get out of my house?
Say what?
How about get out of my house?
Yeah, I wish this would have. This is from the Winnipeg Arena in Winnipeg, you idiot! Manitoba, Canada. The attendance is actually 10,339. That's quite a few people. And Bret Hart wasn't even on this card. That shocks me the most. Oh, well, yeah.
And who did he face? I mean, that's the main event anywhere in the country.
Oh, we'll get to it. Oh, all these matches are. We'll get to them all. Trust me. Some Canadian singer named Tony Wilson, I believe, sings the Canadian.
Yeah, Tony Wilson.
She sings the Canadian national anthem. She's described as an up-and-coming artist. Sure.
What's her name?
Tony Wilson, I think. I've never heard of her. So, there you go.
Yeah, it's her.
Yeah. This went on for like 2 minutes, by the way, and then they blew off a crap ton of pyro.
Why?
Because Canada, that's why. We now see Tony Wilson. I think so.
I'm just going to look this up.
We now see a video of President Gorilla Monsoon backstage saying that due to Shawn Michaels' concussion, HBK will not be wrestling tonight. Instead, Michaels will have to forfeit the Intercontinental title, which will be presented to Dean Douglas. Douglas will then have to defend the title right away against Razor Ramon. Oh, man, Shawn lost his smile.
No. You got the hell beat up by some Marines.
Yeah, I know. Well, you see, the story varies. It's either a Marine, multiple Marines, just a dude. You can't really trust him. We're back to having a three-man booth, by the way. It's Vince McMahon, Jim Ross, and Jerry Lawler all commentating together again. Are you ready for this opener, Greg? Want to talk about main event anywhere in the world? It is Make a Difference Fatu taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Oh, man.
Yeah.
This would be a much better match, by the way, like 5 years from now. This match is happening because Hunter sprayed perfume on Fatu. Vince made the same joke 2 months in a row about if it was raining, Helmsley would drown with his nose stuck up in the air like that. Apparently, he thinks he's clever because he's said the same joke multiple times.
Gotta get over.
I guess. Fatu attacks Helmsley before the bell and beats him up. Fatu gets his neck tied up in the ropes at one point, and Helmsley beats on him. Then Helmsley gets the heat for a while. Fatu makes a comeback after reversing the pedigree. Hunter moves, making Hunter moves, making Fatu miss the splash. Hunter then hits the pedigree, gets the win. Notes, I said, it was actually a decent match to open with. 2 1/4 Uncle Dave. Nothing special, but nothing too bad. Jerry Lawler then interviews Helmsley about how gross Fatu is, and then Henry O'Godwin randomly sneaks up behind them with a slop bucket. Helmsley turns around, sees him just in time, and he holds Lawler in front of him, like holding his arms. He uses him as a shield, and then Lawler screaming like a girl, and then Triple H just runs away. Like, none of this is explained. Godwin just decides, hey, I'm going to come out and slop him because I can. And this leads to the amazing Arkansas Hog Pen match. But I'm
now
getting ahead of
available in the
myself.
archives.
Yeah. But now we go to the back with Doc Hendricks and Jim Cornette, who is dressed like an Easter egg. Jim Cornette is also with the British Bulldog. They show Bulldog turning heel on Diesel again. And then they show how Bulldog, with Yokozuna's help, pinned Diesel on Raw. Bulldog says that he's going to do it again in, quote, this 50 below hellhole. So he's crapping on Canada, even though he's part of the Hart family. But we're not supposed to know that. I guess we're supposed to ignore that. I don't know. Yeah. Well, this next match, Greg, this one will get over for you. It's the Smokin' Guns defending the WWF tag titles against the 1-2-3 Kid and Razor Ramon. Oy vey. The Kid and Razor are color coordinated, both wearing purple. Billy Gunn chopped off his mullet and shaved his face.
Screw it. I don't care anymore.
He's warming up to become Rockabilly, Greg.
Oh, yeah. Remember how well that went over?
Like a lead balloon. That one went over like a fart in church. Billy,
that's my favorite one. Why don't you be sitting there in church, pastors reading from the Bible?
I have farted in church. I don't know if it was loud enough for other people to pick up on it. I Hope not. But that's beside the point. Moving on quickly, Billy and Kid start, but eventually tag their partners. Razor and Kid take control, cutting off Bart. Bart comes back after a head slam. Dean Douglas is seen backstage taking notes. Hot tags are made. Billy cleans house. And then the Guns cut off the Kid. There's a double down with Billy on top. Razor switches from behind the ref's back, and it's a near fall.
That sounds dirty.
Maybe it was. You don't know. Razor gets the hot tag, and he cleans house now. He nails a Razor's Edge on Billy and gets... I'm trying to keep... I'm like losing my spot on my notes here. He nails Razor's Edge on Billy and gets in the Kid, who lays on Billy. Billy reverses it into a... Oh, he tags in the Kid. Okay. And that's right.
Yeah, because he was crying about it. He wanted to get tagged. He begged him to tag him.
Yeah, and then the Kid like lays with like his back on Billy, and then Billy reverses it into a crucifix pin. So the Guns retain. I said decent match that continues the Razor 1-2-3 Kid story. I gave it 2 Uncle Daves. It was average. The 1-2-3 Kid shoves Razor Ramon after the match and tells him to leave. He then attacks the Guns and takes their titles. Razor comes back and talks him out of taking the belts, calms him down, and then he applauds the Guns. So much for being the bad guy. Either way. To the back, where Doc Hendricks is pimping life-size cardboard cutouts of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. If you call now, you can get these life-size cardboard cutouts. And wouldn't you want Shawn Michaels in your house 24/7, ladies? This was weird.
Who would want any of those?
Nerds? I don't know. Dave Meltzer. Anyway, moving on. This is the match, Greg. This is the match. Main event anywhere in the world. This was actually, I believe, on the Best of In Your House cassette tape. It was Marty Jannetty versus the debuting Goldust. Yay.
And if you're going to have debut against anybody, it better be against Marty freaking Jannetty.
Oh, hell yeah. He's tasseled from head to toe, baby.
I know. Looks like a freaking turkey.
Yeah.
The gobbledygook rat less than him.
Good Lord. But yeah, this is Goldust's debut. He looks huge. Huge.
Huge.
I was like, wow, way to get in shape
Part of
for
him
this,
was big
Dustin.
league.
I was like, way to get in shape for this debut there, Dustin. I said...
Well, he is Dusty's kid.
Yeah. I know Marty's young here, but he looks like 40. He looks kind of old. Gold confetti falls from the ceiling for Goldust. Imagine seeing the natural Dustin Rhodes on WCW TV, by the way, and then you see this. Just think about it.
I still believe it was a rib.
Maybe. I don't know. It looks like he painted his old cowboy boots gold and silver, by the way. 'Cause I didn't notice that until I'm looking back at this match. I'm like, he's wearing cowboy boots, but they're gold and silver. Like, seriously, go back and watch. He's like, it's weird. Goldust starts off hot, but Jannetty quickly takes control. They go back and forth after Goldust plays keep away. Goldust controls the match from about the halfway point on for a while. They show a guy dressed like Dracula in the crowd randomly. And the King claims that, that's the celebrities coming out for Goldust's premiere. It was weird. Jannetty hits the rocker dropper and then goes up top, leaping and landing on his feet because Goldust moved slightly. He takes him down and goes for something again, but Goldust gets the boot up in the face before hitting a gourd buster for the win. Notes, I said these two had a pretty boring-ass match. 2 Uncle Daves.
I don't believe you.
This was not an impressive way for Goldust to debut, man. And he was wearing sweatpants under his gear. You could tell because they had like a shot behind him when he had a headlock in one time, and you could see the outline of his sweatpants under his gear.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like,
I gotta
okay.
go back and watch this.
It It was weird.
For that reason only.
Yeah, and like I said, pay attention to the cowboy boots. I'm like, why is Goldust wearing cowboy boots? Maybe they thought nobody would notice. Anyway, they pimped the hotline before showing Yokozuna and Mabel destroying Undertaker on Raw, crushing his face. So you know what that means. He's coming back in that Phantom of the Opera mask.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
I have a Jax figure of that.
Of course you do.
I was waiting for it. Backstage, Jim Cornette says that Gorilla Baboon Monsoon set this match up between Mabel and Yokozuna because he's afraid of those two dominating on the same side. Yes, we're about to get King effing Mabel versus Yokozuna. Yay.
Hell yeah.
10
stars in the Tokyo Dome.
My God. Rhino is actually one of the front guys carrying Mabel to the ring. However, he's way shorter than the other guys, so he's making the throne tilt all the way to the ring. Referee.
Fun fact: I once was D'Lo Brown.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. They just needed some guys with a little bit of upper body strength to carry his big ass to the ring. Referee Jack Doan chopped off his mullet. This made me sad.
So is that the thing? NM95 mullets gotta go?
I guess so. Gotta go, pal. No more party in the back. Gotta be business in the front and the back. I love business in the back. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
That's usually my line.
Right? Mabel does not have his normal spiked mohawk. He just let the hair flop. I don't know why. Jim Ross says that it is fried, dyed, and laid to the side. I was like, what the hell? That was awesome.
That's the guy from Oklahoma thing.
Right? These two start off, quote, hot for about 20 seconds. They then stall for 2 minutes. Then they beat each other up for another 30 seconds. Then more stalling for 2 more minutes. They both miss grounded moves on each other for a while. Mabel goes for a bulldog, but Yokozuna doesn't go down. He just, bends over. And then he flops through the ropes to the outside for some reason. Then Yoko shoves Mabel into the corner post. Mo shoves Cornette down, and then Yoko randomly collapses on top of Jim Cornette. And Corny's, laying there kicking his legs. This was so freaking weird. And then the match just ends, double count out. Yeah, that was the match, people. My notes, I said, sucked. Half an Uncle Dave. This match sucked. I was like, who booked this? Who thought this was a good idea?
It was still better than Loch Ness versus the Big Show.
Was it, though? It's about on par. Oh, this sucked. The best thing of the whole thing was Yoko landing on Cornette and Cornette kicking his arms and legs get off me. Oh, it was great. Get off me, mother effer. Get your fat ass up. Get that titty meat off me.
Yeah, mother effer.
All I could think of was this moment where from the show Robin Big, where they were training to wrestle, and Big splashes Rob Dyrdek, and he's like, "That's a lot of man boob on me."
Wow, there's a sight.
The two men stare each other down in the center of the ring, and their managers beg them to back off. And then Yoko and Mabel just hug it out, and they hold each other's arms up. Crowd boos. They then show a commercial for the Survivor Series, where Undertaker is advertised to return. Yay. Is that his thing, where every time he has to take some time off, he always returns at Survivor Series?
Yeah, that's his event.
The only time he didn't do that was when he returned at WrestleMania 20. But wasn't he taken out at Survivor Series?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's always something to do with Survivor Series. Vince McMahon tries sending it to the back with Doc Hendricks, but Doc is in the ring, literally standing right in front of him. So Vince looks like a moron. Doc.
No.
I know, that's hard to believe. Doc introduces Dean Douglas. Shawn Michaels then comes to the ring wearing an ugly-ass jacket, and he's got 2 shiners and a bloodshot eye. The Intercontinental title actually has a white strap now. Like, when did... I was trying to figure out the timeline of the straps here for the Intercontinental title because it was black. Now all of a sudden it's white.
Razor Ramon had a bunch of different ones.
Okay, but this was like, it has been black up until like, because when Shawn won it, it was black. Now it's white 2 months later. And now, like, but then it goes back to black. Because I remember when Austin, quote unquote, threw it off the bridge, it was black.
Yeah.
So I'm really confused about the timeline of the colors. I don't know. And I don't know why that always used to be a thing, where they had rotating colored straps. I don't know. Anyway, Shawn takes forever to hand the title over to Gorilla Monsoon, and when he finally holds it out, Dean just rips it away from him and puts it on, celebrates. Shawn walks away looking like he's going to cry. Oh, no. Go lose your smile, Shawn. But now we got Dean Douglas versus Razor Ramon for the WWF Intercontinental title. Razor rushes the ring and beats Dean so bad he powders out. Razor takes firm control of Douglas. Razor beats the hell out of him all over and then pours water all over him, solidifying the fact that Dean Douglas is a geek. But Dean eventually blocks the Razor's edge. Razor gets a double down with a choke slam, oddly enough. He then goes back and forth before Razor hits a back suplex, covering Douglas and getting the win, becoming a 4-time Intercontinental Champion. Douglas's foot, by the way, was under the bottom rope. Notes, I said...
That'll be a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hooray. Notes, I said, decent yet confusing match. Douglas looked like a total dork. 1 3/4 Uncle Dave's. My whole thing is, if they were just going to give Razor the belt, why not just have these two wrestle for the vacant title instead of giving it to Douglas for a total of like 10 minutes?
So we'd have a reign with it.
Why?
I don't know.
Stupid. Either way, Bret Hart was not scheduled to wrestle on this card, but he was here. His theme hits and a ton of pyro goes off, just a metric butt ton. The crowd goes absolutely ape crap. Bret then comes to the ring and he chases Jerry Lawler away from commentary. Lawler tries coming back. Bret chases him off again. And then Bret goes and sits on commentary because reasons. In the back, Doc Hendricks is pimping the Two Dudes with Attitude t-shirt. Because we all got to have that.
I had that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Doc then approaches Diesel, and he asks him what his mindset is. Diesel looks at him, and he says, Doc, I'm feeling awfully funky. And then he just walks the ring.
Oh, my God.
Like,
I forgot about that.
What does that even mean? Like,
means we're about to get an epic match.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I will say it's probably one of the better matches of the night. It was Diesel defending the WWF title against the British Bulldog with Jim Cornette in his corner. For the record, if you guys go back and want to watch this is in October, so it's not like it's close to Easter, but Cornette is wearing like a lavender suit with a pink tie and whatever. It's like really weird. It literally looks like he looks like an Easter egg. Either way.
Well, he's a trendsetter.
Oh, of course, yeah. He said he got all those jackets because of around Kentucky Derby time. They sell those weird-ass colored jackets down in Kentucky. So he just buys a ton of them.
Why?
That's his gimmick, I guess. That he's a redneck from Kentucky. There's a guy cosplaying as Diesel in the crowd, sitting next to a bunch of Bulldog fans. So that was super awkward. Diesel gets drop-kicked outside. Bret tries to steady him because Diesel was about to fall back onto the table. Diesel turns around, just pie faces Bret. At one point, Bulldog throws Diesel out of the ring, and Jim Cornette keeps working on Diesel's legs. He drops elbows, boots, and the racket on him because the referee was like distracted forever. He was a dumb ref. Bulldog gets knocked out of the ring.
No.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe. I know. Bulldog gets knocked out of the ring and goes to smack the hell out of Bret, but Bret follows him in the... Well, he does smack the hell out of Bret. Bret follows him into the ring, just starts beating the tar out of him. The bell rings, they DQ him, and then Diesel pulls Bret off of Bulldog. The two men argue, and then they brawl. The locker room just unloads and tries to pull the guys apart. Notes, I said, decent match, clearly leading to Diesel versus Bret for the title. 2 1/4 Uncle Dave. This show sucked, man. The whole show sucked.
Every In Your House sucked.
Basically. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell Diesel meant by I'm feeling awfully funky. And then just walks to the ring. Like, okay? Like, all right. I just don't question it, I guess.
No, don't.
Diesel power. You remember The Rock did that to him?
Yeah, I do.
Big Daddy Cool, Diesel. I freaking lost it, dude. All right, well, time to switch over to the Chinese water torture segment. While those shows sucked, this one was a whole new level of suck. Gotta go over to WCW. Oddly,
The Yeti! Sorry.
Oh, God.
Getting ahead.
You're getting ahead of us here. We're going to take another quick promo break. When we come back, it is Halloween Havoc 1995.
Oh, yeah, we're going to reach some havoc.
Woo! We'll be right back.
Drama City Productions.com.
Small Town Mentality Podcast with your host, Ben. A podcast about nothing and everything. A podcast where we get together with friends, drink beer, and see where the conversation takes us. We don't edit. We don't care what people say. It's small town people with a small town mentality. It gets offensive at times, lots of swearing, and a whole lot of not caring. Available everywhere you get podcasts. You can find us on Twitter at STMPod, on Instagram at STMPodcast, and on Facebook at Small Town Mentality Pod. We'll see you there.
Drama City Productions.com.
This is Conversations with Paycheck and Red, a weekly podcast with two good old boys talking about anything and everything that crosses their mind. You may not know what you're going to get with an episode of Paycheck and Red, but you sure know you don't want to miss it. So do what you got to do. Download the app, find the episodes online, and make sure that you don't miss 1 second of Conversations with Paycheck and Red.
Well, we're back, Greg, and you know what that means.
Oh, yeah. Monster Truck Sumo.
Oh, yeah. Well, the tagline for this event is fitting. WCW Halloween Havoc 1995, the tagline, there's nowhere to hide. Yeah, there's nowhere to hide from this pain of watching this damn show. It took place October 29th, 1995, from the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. They actually had a capacity crowd of 13,000. For this. Why?
Oh, they knew the Yeti was coming.
Oh, yeah, they saw Nitro and was like, oh, God, got to get my tickets now.
You say that, but it probably was.
In the opening package for this, they say that Hulk Hogan is, quote, turned to the dark side to take on the Giant and the Dungeon of Doom at their own game. Hogan is now clean-shaven and wearing all black. Tony Schiavone puts over that Arn Anderson and Flying Brian allegedly attacked Ric Flair before the show. They were supposed to be in a tag team match later on. We'll get to that.
Flair.
A video shows that Johnny B. Bad never showed up on WCW Saturday Night for his U.S. title match against Sting, so Flying Brian showed up to take his spot. Johnny finally shows up at the end of the show, covered in crap, saying that he had a flat tire and he couldn't make it. DDP then walks up and verbally trashes Johnny and says that people like you don't win championships, people like me win championships. And then Max Muscle messes up and lets it slip that Johnny had, quote, 4 flat tires. And Johnny said, I only said that I had 1 flat tire. And then he punches DDP. This was terrible acting, by the way.
No, you don't say.
And this was like, this angle was better suited for like the 1970s, but they're like, it'll work in 95. Stupid.
Yeah, because no one's watching.
Yeah. And I like how Gene Okerlund like pokes holes in the logic right away. He's like, why didn't you call us and say that you were having car trouble? He's like, well, if I had a phone, don't you think I would have done that? It's like, wait a minute. So you couldn't find a phone? Like, does your house not have a phone? Like, what? Like, why did you not have one? Like, that was never explained. But regardless, this opening match is Diamond Dallas Page with the Diamond Doll and Max Muscle. He's defending the WCW television title against Johnny B. Freaking Bad. A Johnny B. Bad impersonator comes out onto the stage back first, so you can't see that it's not him, and he distracts DDP. Johnny, the real Johnny, then jumps DDP from behind and beats him up into the crowd. Then he puts a bucket over his head. He throws him into the ring. DDP eventually gets the upper hand and dominates for quite a while. This match consisted of a lot of headlocks and a lot of cheating until Johnny finally takes over again. Max Muscle accidentally clotheslines DDP right in front of Nick Patrick, and then Johnny gets the pin. So he just let it go. My notes, I said sloppy. 1 3/4 Uncle Dave's. It's not even average. This match just blew.
Good start.
Speaking of things that blow, the Zodiac takes on the Macho Man Randy Savage up next. Woo! On his way to the ring, Macho Man hugs a hot chick, and Tony Schiavone stops in mid-sentence and says, hello there. That was kind of weird. Some skinny dude that looks like Dave Mustaine from, can't even think of the band now. I'm thinking it's not Iron Maiden. What's the other? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can't think of their name either.
Gosh, people are going to eviscerate me on Twitter. I can't think.
We'll erase this.
Megadeth. That's the band.
I knew it was. I didn't want to give it to you. I'm sorry.
You dick. You're a dick. Anyway, some skinny dude that looks like Dave Mustaine from Megadeth jumps into the ring during this match, and he runs at the Macho Man, but he gets tackled by security and referees. Bobby Heenan says it was probably a drunk. Macho Man wins in short.
You want to talk?
Right. Macho Man wins in short order with a flying elbow drop. Notes, I said, I guess Kamala was supposed to wrestle Macho Man, but Kamala had quit before this event. That's a big loss for WCW, man. What are they going to do without Kamala?
That Dungeon of Doom took a huge hit when they lose Kamala, man.
Right? How are they going to... Well, you'll see who they replace him with later, and it was worth it. All right? So I gave it half an Uncle Dave. To the back, where Mean Gene Okerlund is pimping the hotline. Shocker. He then introduces Johnny B. Bad, who says he tells all the children that if you dream, you can achieve. And he says dreams do come true. He's clearly training for his next career. Okerlund says that when they go out for Greek food that night, he'll sing Tutti Frutti at the bar in honor of Johnny.
Oh, my God.
Bobby Heenan says, "Oh, yeah, Gene Okerlund singing at a bar. That's a good way to up the business for the surrounding restaurants." Oh, that was funny. They then show a video of during the summer, after a match, a guy named Kurosawa sneak attacked Hawk and, quote, broke his arm. Now Hawk wants revenge. I've never heard of Kurosawa. Turns out...
Me neither.
Turns out he went on to be Manabu Nakanishi, who, he actually had a decent career in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This was not that career. It was Kurosawa with Colonel Robert Parker taking on Road Warrior Hawk. Kurosawa is dressed like a young lion. For those of you not familiar with the Japanese way, like when you're in training over there, you get plain black trunks, no knee pads, plain black boots. That's what he was wearing. That's what they call them, young lions. Hawk dives out onto Colonel Robert Parker at one point. This allows Kurosawa to take over. Kurosawa pins Hawk and puts his feet on the ropes. Parker holds on to his feet, allowing him to get the win. Notes, I said, blah match. Kurosawa wrestled like a rookie. Apparently, he was only 3 years into the business at this point. I gave it 1 1/3, or 1 1/4, Uncle Dave. This match stunk ass. Not good. Not
Bad.
good. Bad. Not good at all. Now, to the back, where Gene Okerlund is interviewing the Macho Man. Macho says, 1 down, 1 to go. He then references the fan jumping in the ring. Macho and Gene then randomly insult each other's looks. Gene says something about it. Macho Man's beard is crooked or something like that. It was weird. I don't know what the hell was going on here. Savage tells Luger that he may be his friend, but he's going to beat him. And then he says that he's very interested in the monster truck sumo match. Oh, I'm sure he was. We all waited with bated breath for that one, Greg.
Man. Hell yeah. Now available in the archives.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this next one was weird to see in a WCW ring. It was Mr. JL, who is Jerry Lynn for all of you that don't know. He took on Sabu with the original Sheik in his corner. I guess they got Sabu and the Sheik because they were in Detroit. But
Palm Bay, Michigan.
Yeah. But Mr. JL looks like a wannabe Rey Mysterio Jr. Like, he seriously looked like it looked like a bad... I know this was like years before it, but you remember the bodysuit that Rey wore at Halloween Havoc?
The purple one.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that. It was weird. Anyway, Sabu comes out to some random rock music that does not fit him whatsoever. I don't know who was in charge of picking his theme. This match starts off sloppy as hell. At one point, Sabu does a moonsault onto JL and the Sheik at ringside. The Sheik is walking with a cane, and he still moonsaults onto his ass. Sabu does an Arabian facebuster at one point and lands on JL's head. That was nice. Sabu wins with a rope-assisted moonsault. The Sheik then throws a fireball into Mr. JL's face, because you gotta, have fire for this one. That'll really crank it up a notch. Notes, sloppy as hell, was nowhere near as good as it should have been. It'll be better years later in ECW. I gave it 1 Uncle Dave. So far, this event is batting 1,000, man. Speaking of, here's where it really starts to crank up, Greg. We now see the Master and the Taskmaster both wheeled out onto the stage. They're here in person, Greg. They're not in the dungeon anymore.
Yay. Go back.
The Master shouts some incoherent BS. He tells Sullivan, my son, to kill Hulkamania around the world. I don't know why they hate Hulkamania. That's never really explained. Taskmaster says that all of Hogan's friends are, quote, vultures, and he's all alone. Now to the back, where Gene Okerlund is joined by Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Hart, and some family who want a free Harley Davidson. The family looks hella confused and bored. Well, if they've been watching the show, I know why. Bobby Heenan tries to insult the family, saying that the Harley Davidson will look really nice in their trailer park. However, he's trying to, insult them, and he can't think of what the hell anything is called. He's trying to, make an above-ground pool joke, and he can't think of the words. So he's just, doing hand motions while Tony Schiavone stares at him. It was so bad. Good grief. But this next match will make up for everything, Greg. It's Meng with the Taskmaster versus Lex Luger. Yay. The commentators are putting over that every time the Dungeon of Doom attacks people, they leave Lex Luger alone. That makes them think that Lex is with the Dungeon. Meng grabs the golden spike out of his boot, and he nails Luger in the throat with it, and he pins him. Taskmaster comes in, and he kicks Luger to break up the pinfall, and so Luger wins via DQ. Notes, not a bad match, and it sets up for a bigger storyline. This was actually the best match on the card thus far. 2 1/4 Uncle Dave, so it was average. Then we go to the back, where Mean Gene Okerlund interviews the Giant. The Giant yanks Gene's hand almost clear off his arm and says that he's going to push Hulk Hogan right off the roof of Cobo Hall. Then, if there's anything left, he's going to win the world title by chokeslamming Hogan through the floor of the Joe Louis Arena. Hooray. Are you ready for swerve number 1 of the night, Greg?
Yeah.
Let's get into it. It was Arn
I know what it is.
It was Arn Anderson and Flying Brian versus Sting and Ric Flair, allegedly. Since Rick was attacked earlier, Sting goes out and wrestles solo. Sting's clearly about to let his hair go natural, by the way, because his roots are coming in hardcore. Sting actually controls most of the match. Finally, when the heels get control, a taped-up Ric Flair in his street clothes runs out to the ring. Randy Anderson makes him get on the apron, and Flair struts around and pops the crowd. Sting gets dominated by both men and can't get the tag, and this goes on and on and on and on. Finally, Sting makes a tag to the Nature Boy. Ric Flair comes in. He's going to save the day, and he socks Sting right in the face. Who didn't see that coming?
I called it right away when I was a kid.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, they built up to that. Like, it was plain as freaking day. And then all 3 men just gang up on Sting and beat him down. Sting's even bleeding from the mouth. Notes, I said, obvious turn is obvious. 1 1/2 Uncle Dave's. Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Brian Pillman then talk with Mean Gene Okerlund up on the stage. Flair does all the talking. And Flair doesn't really give a reason why he did what he did. He just says that the Horsemen are reunited, and it feels so good. Like, and I was talking with you about this. They never explain why.
Yeah, they really don't.
It's just a swerve for the sake of swerve. Okay, Ric Flair's an a-hole. And, like, whatever. Stupid. Speaking of stupid, to the back with Mike Tenay interviewing Lex Luger. He has to stop him. Luger actually has to stop himself from calling WCW the World Wrestling Federation because he says something about in the World Championship Wrestling. He also calls Sting his good pal instead of good pal. Luger was something else on the mic, man. He tells Macho Man that when the bell rings, he's going to beat the greatest wrestler WCW has ever seen. And then he's going to make an example out of the Macho Man. Let's get to this, man. This was something. The build-up for the Macho Man, or not Macho Man, the Hulk Hogan Giant feud is so insanely silly. It involves the Giant lying about being Andre the Giant's son, the Giant using a random monster truck to run over Hulk Hogan's Harley Davidson, the Giant snapping Hogan's neck not once but twice, Kevin Sullivan dressing up like a woman to attack Hogan, a la Ric Flair, Sullivan and Giant shaving Hogan's mustache for some reason, and then Hogan showing up wearing all black, Hogan challenging the Giant to a monster truck sumo match, because, you know, that's practical. And then the Yeti, the Yeti, bursting out of a block of ice to be the, quote, insurance policy for the Dungeon of Doom. Like, how many drugs do you think Kevin Sullivan was on during this?
All of them.
Yeah, I just, like, what the hell? This was insane. I like, what the hell? But then we go on to the match, Greg. It's Hulk Hogan versus the Giant in a monster truck sumo match on Cobo Hall. now available in the archives. We did a watch-along of this. Go check it out.
Or don't.
Yeah, definitely go do that. It's on our YouTube page. Check it out. It's worth a listen. Hogan pushes the Giant's truck out of the circle first. The inside of the truck shots are clearly repeated pre-records. After the, quote, match, the men get out of their trucks. Giant grabs Hogan to throw him off the roof, but Hogan gets the advantage, and then the Giant falls to his death, allegedly. Notes, I said...
And he's gone forever, bro.
He is. Notes, I said this wasn't even a match, and we saw a man die, only for Eric Bischoff to shout, "No! No!" repeatedly. And then Hulk Hogan runs away shouting, "Help! Help!" -5 Uncle Daves. This was bad.
That's an amazing monster truck match. What are you talking about?
Sure. Back at the commentary table, Bischoff, who was on commentary for this for reasons, is at a loss for words. Bobby Heenan looks like he's rethinking his life choices.
Just say with Vince.
The, quote, expert that they have with them says, that wasn't supposed to happen. Like, really? I thought this was planned. A man was supposed to die here. What are you talking about? They then just simply send it back to the ring and have more matches after we saw a man die. What the F?
Show must go on.
Oh my gosh. Like, what the hell? And Bobby Heenan, by the way, was the only one who gave a damn for the rest of the night. Nobody, like Tony Schiavone was just like, we'll find out when we find out what happened to him. And Bobby Heenan was actually the voice of reason. He was like, we saw a man fall off a building. What's going on? Nobody else gave a damn. Like, whatever. We'll find out later. Like, what? This was insane. How did WCW make money in the year 95?
They didn't.
No, they did. They turned a profit in the year 95 for the first time ever. Believe it or not, that blew my mind. Because Bischoff was bragging about that. I was like, how did you turn a profit? This whole year sucked. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's wrap the show up. This is your second to main event match. It is Lex Luger versus the Macho Man, Randy Savage. One of the tombstones I notice on the stage when they're coming to the ring says Crockett. That's pretty effed up. Lex Luger goes for a handshake, but Macho Man won't do it and attacks Lex. Lex then goes full-on heel mode and beats up Savage. And then Jimmy Hart comes to the ring. Hart gets up on the apron. Macho Man throws Luger into him, drops Luger, and then does a flying elbow for the win. Notes, they didn't have much time, and they didn't really do much. Again, this just advanced storylines. To Uncle Dave's. Bobby Heenan gets mad at Tony Schiavone and everyone else for not giving updates on the Giant. He rips his headset off and he walks away, then comes back about 10 seconds later and says it would take him too long to get outside. Commentary then shows a replay of the Giant falling, and they stall for like 10 minutes. I don't know if there's a real explanation for this, or if they were just stalling just for the hell of it. I'm sure the people in the arena were just confused. Either way, main event time. Here we go. You ready for this, Greg?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big debut.
Yeah, man comes back from the dead. Hulk Hogan with Jimmy Hart allegedly is going to defend the WCW World Heavyweight title against the Giant with the Taskmaster. Hulk Hogan is wearing all black, leather gloves, brown motorcycle riding boots. This was a unique look for the Hulkster, I'll say. He starts explaining what happened earlier when all of a sudden the Dungeon of Doom's theme hits and interrupts him, and the Giant comes out. He's alive, and he's in wrestling gear. How about that? When Hogan's bandana is ripped off, he's got Kevin Sullivan's face paint on his forehead. That was a little weird, but they said that signified that he was going to the dark side. Either way, Sullivan tries to leave with the Giant at one point, but Hogan goes up and brings him back. Giant chokeslams Hogan at one point, and Hogan flops like a fish, like he just got electrocuted or something. Hogan perfectly body slams the Giant and hits a leg drop on him. Then Jimmy Hart hits the referee from behind, but Hogan doesn't see this. And he gets up and he asks Jimmy for help picking the referee up. Jimmy then nails Hogan in the back with a world title. It's a turn! Swerve!
Swerve, bro!
And then the Giant locks Hogan in a bear hug. You know what's coming, baby. Taskmaster keeps hitting Hogan, and Hart cheers him on. Then Lex Luger and Randy Savage hit the ring, and they try to chase off Hart and the Taskmaster, but then Luger beats up Savage. Another swerve, bro! And then, oh yeah, the Yeti comes down to the ring and butt rapes Hulk Hogan before they let Hulk drop. Seriously, like, go back and watch this. If none of you have seen this, you guys say, oh, he's just being crass. Seriously, he's humping him. There's no bear hug. He wraps his arms around him and humps his butt. It's gross. Luger then locks him in a torture rack. Hogan, that is. And the Yeti goes and humps Randy Savage. He's had his way with Hulk, and now he wants the Macho Man.
Oh, yeah.
And then Luger locks Macho Man in the torture rack. For some reason, the referee declares the Giant the winner via disqualification. I guess because Jimmy was technically Hogan's manager. But the belt does not change via disqualification. However, Giant poses with a belt anyway. My notes, I said, what a damn mess. Bobby Heenan says, you'll never see another pay-per-view like this one. I sure as hell hope not.
Yeah, if we're lucky.
I said 1 3/4 Uncle Dave's, and I was being super generous. I mean, the match itself wasn't terrible, but the end was bad. Especially when you have a giant man dressed like a mummy that they call the Yeti butt-humping Hulk Hogan. It's just... why? Just why? Any of this?
Because screw us.
I guess so. This was god freaking awful. Next week, we got 3 more fantastic, we'll call it, events to review for you. Have you seen any of these that we're going to review next week?
All of them.
You've seen November to Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Well, for all of you, we're traveling back to the land of extreme. We'll cover ECW's November to Remember. And we know how much you loved Hardcore Heaven. So...
oh, man, yeah.
That classic.
It was heaven.
Yeah. And then we've got WWF's Survivor Series 95. Oh, joy. And WCW's World War III. I don't think I've seen this one. I generally...
It's the first one ever.
Okay. I might have seen it, and if I remember correctly, it sucked. Am I wrong?
You'll see.
Okay, well, I'll be surprised. Ah, man. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Yeah, thanks for the punishment.
Oh, you're welcome. And for all of you at home, Kyle and I have run down NXT TakeOver Phoenix, which, Greg, you are seeing live and in person.
I'm here now.
Yeah. And we also review the Royal Rumble, which you will also see live and in person. So, there you go. And don't forget, we're getting a lot more subscribers to our YouTube. Go search for us and subscribe on our YouTube and give us a like and all that good stuff. We'll see you next week. Later.
Later.
This has been a Drama City production.